Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Before Mass, one of the servers was asking if there was anything special about today, and I responded, it's Sunday, and he responded, every Sunday is a mini Easter. You must go to a Catholic school. All right. What a beautiful answer. And we might even extend that and say every Sunday is a mini transfiguration. So that's what we celebrate in the gospel today, that Jesus took Peter, James, and John, and they went up a very high mountain. And you could go to that mountain today, Mount Tabor, and it is windy and steep. It is not an easy climb. And so what happens there? They have an incredibly powerful encounter with the living God. The only time in the Gospels where the divinity of Jesus is visibly manifested, his godness. And so they're taken. They don't even know how to respond. Yet, it is good that we are here. If Peter's saying it's good that we're here, it's like, this is delightful. I like this. I want to stay. And he wants to stay so much that what? Let's build tents. Let's build a cabin here, right? And stay. This experience of the transfiguration, in one sense, it's powerful for the apostles. It's powerful for the continuation of the church, and we return to that to highlight Jesus is truly the Son of God. But it's important for us, too, that every Sunday be a sort of mini transfiguration for us, that we climb a mountain, and it's kind of difficult. What's the mountain? Climbing the mountain above our earthly cares and concerns. We got so many things that were on our mind, so many things that we're involved in. The aggressiveness, the competition, the seeking out. And we have to climb above that. And it's not easy and it's not comfortable. But without climbing above the secular, worldly concerns that we have throughout the week, we never have a transfiguration experience because we got to climb that mountain first. That's why Bishop Kimmy, one of his priorities, or one of the priorities for our diocese, is Reclaiming Sunday. I've talked about that a lot. And there's a number of parishes doing different things, and I hear people like doing, like certain practices that they're starting, certain things that they're ceasing to do to reclaim Sunday. But it might be one of the hardest of our diocesan priorities to reclaim Sunday, because the secular society has taken it over, right? And I have to be careful about how I say this and nuance this. Sports is supposed to be diversion. Sports are good, right? But there is a certain aggressiveness that has entered into sports at all levels. I mean, from kindergarten up. That's taken the leisure and the diversion out of sports. And there's an aggressiveness, and now that's creeped into Sunday, where Sunday is now filled with sports for kids, and we have to travel everywhere, right, for competition. And this is not a judgment, but the reality is it doesn't allow us to climb the mountain of the transfiguration. It doesn't allow us to reclaim Sunday. It doesn't allow us to get out of the cares and the concerns of the earth. And when that doesn't happen, we just continue into a cycle of exhaustion. So here's the thing. To reclaim Sunday and to make Sunday not just a mini Easter, but a mini transfiguration experience, we've got to do some climbing. There's going to be some sacrifices that we have to make. And some of the people around us are not going to like those sacrifices, right? So you can, I guess the invitation is like, what's that sacrifice that's going to be for me? So on the farm, during harvest season, every farmer wants to be out in the field, right? And so I remember growing up, it's wheat harvest, all the farmers are out, and my he's in the house, wishing he were out there, but making that sacrifice because it was the Lord's day. The day was holy. I remember being in school and in college and hearing Dr. Scott Hahn speak about his witness in regards to making the decision as an academic not to study on Sundays. Well, I don't like to study any day, so that was cool with me. but you got to study, right, in college, or you're not going to do well. And so the temptation for every college student, every high school student, is to push everything off until Sunday, but to really make a sacrifice and say, I'm not going to study on Sunday. You know what? For a priest, I have to make that sacrifice because it's like, oh, I could have a bunch of extra appointments that I could get in today. Nope. That's my sacrifice. And so that's the way that I have to climb the mountain to go up the Mount Tabor with the Lord in order to have the opportunity for an experience of the divine. Reclaiming Sunday is really about reclaiming relationship. Because the purely earthly way of looking at life, and the purely utilitarian way, just about usefulness, competition, what we're going to get, achievement, honors, without Sunday, strips the life of relationship. And we are made for relationship. God is relationship. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And if we reject Sunday and we don't climb Mount Tabor, we strip ourselves of relationship with the divine. Because what happens on Mount Tabor? What's revealed? The Father says, this is my beloved Son. A son is what? From a father. And so it's in that context, in relationship, that we hear the Father say, listen to him. It makes a big difference if we're told to do something that flows out of a relationship, a friendship, a love, a family, versus just stark commandments. Like, there's no relationship and these are your duties. And that's how, and it's very easy to live the faith like that. It's just about what we're supposed to do and what we can't do, and there's no relationship a part of it. And so it's like we become minimalists in living our faith. What are we required to do for stewardship? What are the precepts of the church? So, okay, I'll fulfill those. I've done my duty, but there's no relationship. That changes your whole spiritual life. If you're truly a son of God, a brother of Jesus, and you're living in relationship and you've experienced relationship to the point that you can say with St. Peter that it's good we're here. It is good. I'm tasting it. When you hear, listen to him, it's like, yeah, I want to. Versus people talking about or reading the lives of the saints doing the will of God, and it's like, oh, I got to do the will of God. Okay, I guess I got to be miserable and embrace the will of God. That's to see it without relationship. And so, reclaiming Sunday. It's a mini Easter, but it's also a mini transfiguration. To experience the encounter on top of Mount Tabor, to hear God speaking, to taste and see that it's good, we got to climb a mountain. What is the mountain? What's the sacrifice that you need to make, that I need to make, that's going to be uncomfortable, but allow us to transcend the worldly concerns that keep us in this aggressive, fighting world?